Whoa, 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 stop the tutorial, pause it right there, stop. I know you clicked on it because you liked the thumbnail, but hold up, let me explain some things. This is called the new drop fade, and unfortunately in this video, I didn't shoot myself creating the guideline and balding out and using a shaver and all that stuff. Had problems with my memory card. How many times you hear that out of YouTube barbers? I had a problem with my memory card, the camera shut off. It shut off on me in this one. But let's just be honest, I probably saved you guys about 2 to 3 minutes, because how many times you see barbers balding out, which, look, come on, let's be real, we already know how to bald out. Like, we don't need to see each other bald out all the time. It's a pretty simple process. But this one's a good tutorial. I hope you find this helpful. It's my version of a drop fade, and I've been doing this on a lot of my clients lately, and I like the variation of it. I have another video coming out next week, which you'll see everything in its entirety, slightly different variation of it, but ultimately the same style of fade, and on a different hair texture and everything. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's rewind the tape, rewind, and then I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe. So now you'll see I got the lever open, and I'm about to create a 1-inch guideline. It's working my way from the front, going all the way to the back. And as you can see, if you look at the motion of my clippers, it's sort of like a C motion. I'm basically coming off or flicking out at the top, if you will, if that's what you want to call it, because I do not want to create a very harsh guideline with this lever open, and you'll see why here in a minute. So as you see that guideline, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Same thing, flicking out at the top to not create such a harsh guideline. But even if I did, that wouldn't matter. If you want to know why, I will tell you. It's because my clippers are set up properly, and it doesn't matter because all of my clips or trimmers or shavers or razors, they all flow into each other. So I don't have to worry about that problem. So as you see the guideline, the V matches the initial V guideline. So now I'm going up with the 1.5, creating another 1-inch guideline. Now you'll see after I do this, what was the importance of me flicking out at the top, because on both sides, I will fade each side differently. On this side, I will fade it going down. On the other side, I will work within the guidelines. So as you see, you can see the difference there. So now we're gonna attack this one. So originally I was gonna fade within guidelines, but then I realized, let me just fade down from the 1.5, which if you're keeping score, I should have just started off with the 1.5 and faded down from there. So I've got the wall half with the lever open, and I'm basically working my way down. You'll see the line, the bottom line lighten. If you're really paying close attention, you will see there's no real middle line that was created from the lever open because of me flicking out at the top. This is why a lot of people say use the C motion or flick out at the top, because you don't create such a harsh guideline. It's essentially making your life easier, which, as you saw, it's not hard to flick out at the top or create a C motion, but the end result is you create a very soft guideline. It's almost non-existent if you look at this. So now I've took the wall half off. I worked through my wall half, and now I'm basically about to remove this guideline that was created with the trimmers and the shaver. And I'm just slowly working it down in increments. Open, half, closed. That simple. And you see how quickly this happened, me creating this fade. Very simple steps, guys. You could do the exact same thing I'm doing. This is not magic that I'm doing. It's just me knowing my system, sticking with the system that I'm used to working for myself, and creating the fade. Very simple. But on the other side, you will see me work within guidelines. So you kind of get to see the best of both worlds here. And right now I'm just detailing, because at this point I want to work in perfection. So now you see the guideline that was created with the lever open. I'm now going to erase this guideline first before I proceed. So the lever is halfway open, and I'm just going up about halfway to 3/4 of the way into that guideline. I'm keeping the blade flat. I'm not flicking out here, really. I'm just keeping the blade flat, and I'm just coming off slightly. It's so slightly that you probably can't see it unless you put it in slow motion. So now I've got the lever almost closed. I mean, like almost closed. And I'm using the entire blade to remove what's left before I fully close the lever. Because you'll see once I fully close the lever, I'll start to use the corners, which that line is done. So now I've got the 1.5, and I'm creating another guideline right above what I just created. Different process as the other side, but of course the end result is all the same. So whatever you like to do, it doesn't matter. The results will be the same. If you like to fade down, it's great. The result will be the same. If you like to fade with guidelines, great. The results will be the same if you remain consistent within your steps. So now I have the wall half with the lever open, and I'm lightening the line. So as you see, there's really not much of a guideline that was created by the lever open. And I credit that, to be honest, really to his hair. His hair helps this a lot. And just a little tip for you guys, not everyone's hair is going to cooperate the same. So if you try this fade on someone, you may have maybe a more difficult time because of their hair type or texture. But it's okay, guys. Stay with me. Work within your system and you will be just fine. Follow every step. Don't skip steps, and you will be just fine in your fading process. I know a lot of people get lost in the fade because they may get frustrated and deviate from the system. But it's just like a game plan. It's just like at times when you're going into war, you need discipline. Because once you lose your discipline, you lost the war or you lost the battle. Same thing with these fades. When you're going into battle these fades, you got to have discipline and structure. So as you saw, 3.5. I'm going up a little bit more than an inch because this will be, I think this will be the highest blade that I use. I may use a 3 3/4. I can't really remember. But I'm going up, because although I'm going pretty high, this blade will still leave his hair pretty dark. The 3.5 is pretty close to about a 3 guard, a little bit shorter, but pretty close. But I want to go up high with this one. I want to go up high because as you see, the complexion of his skin is light and his hair is dark, which means you need to spread out the blend to create contrast where it doesn't look from afar, let's say 20, 30 feet away, that it's not blended. That's a piece of advice for you guys. And I'm showing you the guidelines there just to make sure you keep them all within the same area. Keep that V aligned with each other as you go through the steps. So now I have the 2.5 and I'm going right underneath where I left off with the 3.5, or this is the 2, I'm sorry. So remember, if you have someone that has light complexion skin and they have dark hair and they want a bald fade, or really even a shadow fade, create contrast. The key word, contrast. You want contrast. Because like I say, from a distance, it will not look faded. And I'm sure you've probably seen this, whether you're watching one of your favorite soccer players or you see someone on television, maybe someone in person, where it just doesn't look right. But when you get up on it, where you're like 5 feet away, it looks good. But as the person walks away, it starts to look like a chili bowl. And this is what you don't want. And that, as you see here, I've got the 1.5 and I'm just using the corners just to tidy up anything. And I'm using it in the back there. As I suspected, the 3 3/4. This will definitely be the highest blade that I use in this fade before I use the thinning shears to tie it all together. And let's be honest, I could have used clipper over comb. I just chose to use the 3 3/4 as a lazy approach because, hey, you may not be comfortable with clipper over comb, especially with this type of hair, with this length. So I just showed you a different way. Now I have the thinners and I'm connecting the long hairs to the short hairs. And I use the thinners. I could have used regular scissors, but I use the thinners because, hey, it's a lot easier than using the scissors, because a lot of you may not be comfortable with using straight up scissor over comb. The thinners, they're a lot more forgiving than just the regular scissors, and you can really just go in there and just attack the hair with, I would say, no mercy, and not have to worry about like plugging someone's hair, just taking a humongous patch out. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking little chunks out and I'm combing it just to feel the balance. And I'm doing all of this dry, because it's good when you're using the thinners or texturizing hair when it's dry, because you can now then see an accurate picture of what the hair actually looks like. And we're not going to touch anything on the top. We're just doing the fade on the side and connecting the fade to the top of his hair. But this is a new fade, guys. Like, if you want to try this on someone, feel free to try it. I know they'll love it. I have a few clients that I do this particular fade on. I don't know where I got it from, to be honest. I just was like, hey, I want to try this. And I think he was the first one that I actually tried this on.
Back in style again.
Yes, finally. And there you have it. New drop fade. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to try this. Leave a like, share, and subscribe. I have plenty of great barbering content on this channel, so browse the channel. If you want to use any of the tools that I use in this video, links to that stuff will be in the description below. I hope you guys liked it. Try this on one of your favorite clients. I'm sure they'll love it. It's been your man, I Do a Barber, signing out. I'll holla.